Good morning, St. Louis. It's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, so y'all know what time it is. It's time for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast with your boy Cortez Hustle, my girl Michelle A. And
Hey,
today we're talking about defending her honor. Is there such thing as going too far? Yeah, I saw the Oscars, man. Y'all see the memes. Y'all saw the video. Is there such thing as going too far? So we're gonna weigh in on that and much more on today's episode. Of course, Michelle has her word of the day and so much more. So do me a huge favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it this morning.
growing up in St. Louis has never been easy, and most say if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm Cortez Hustle. That's my girl, Michelle A. And we're coming to you live and direct from the Thornton Online Marketing Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri, where all we want to do is help small businesses win, no matter what. And how do we do that? We do that with digital marketing software and solutions. So if you are a small business and you're looking to grow your online presence, then let's start with a free digital marketing strategy session. All you got to do is text local biz to 314-730-3999. Again, text local biz to 314-730-3999. We'd be happy to sit down with you, help you develop an online marketing strategy that is right for your business. And we'll do that for free. So again, text the keyword and we'd be happy to sit down with you and just book a meeting on the calendar. But let us know in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. If you're building something amazing, we want to hear from you. And how could we not talk about what everybody else is talking about, right?
How can we not?
Or is there a such thing, Michelle, as going too far when defending her honor? Now, we call it defending her honor, but really, when you're defending anybody's honor, right? So this could be male, female, this could be marriage partner, this could be friend, this could be sister, brother, could be anybody, anybody's honor, right? What can you do to help keep you cool in certain situations? So we're gonna get in all the way up into that today. But in the meantime, Chalet, how was your weekend, sis?
I'm over here being petty. That's my confession. And I'm excuse me while I tell the Lord sorry. Sorry, Lord. Because I'm being petty right now. And I just, man, I'm being petty. That's all I got to say. So my weekend was wonderful. What did I do? Because Sunday just wiped out everything. I was having a good doggone day Sunday. Till the Oscars came on, it just messed up everything. Man, it's like listen to your favorite song. My weekend this weekend was like listening to my favorite song in the record scratch. It's like, what just happened? So I can classify my weekend. But let's see. You know what? I'm good. I work on the weekends now, so everything is everything. I had a good dang gum time. I don't have as many exciting stories to tell as I used to when I was sugar shacking. I'm tempted to just start making stuff up. I don't know, but yeah, it was a quiet weekend. Oh, I had the G baby. That's what I did.
That's what you did.
I had the G baby Saturday night, 2 nights in a row. Wasn't my plan to get him 2 nights in a row. I got tricked. Hornswoggle, run him up. I ain't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. But nevertheless, I had the little tight Saturday night and Sunday night, and he's a cool kid. I can't get mad at him even when he cut up. But I will say this: he had a blowout, and I almost threw the whole baby away. I had to come up. I couldn't come up with a good enough excuse to explain what happened to the baby, so I said, "Dang, I better go ahead and rinse him off." He ranks him. He that baby boo boo so bad I couldn't even wipe him up with wipes. I had to put that joke in the shower, in his bathtub, and turn the water on, turn the hose on him. Turn the hose on him. That's how bad it got. He was happy about the whole thing. He's just looking around and he didn't cry about nothing. But anything that was attached to him had to go in the trash. But there was like, you threw away clothes. I sure did. They're in the dumpster. You're welcome to go diving to get them. Blanket, the clothes, the toy. He was sitting in a little similar to a walker, that concept, but it's just a city chair right now because little legs is so short. So the little sitter chair, and it's got an insert that helps him sit up. The insert had to go, everything. He ain't gonna be able to use the chair until he can get bigger because the insert's gone. I've been put some pillows back. I don't play with boo boo.
You're gonna have to grow into this one.
Yeah, he gonna have to. You have to grow into or get some towels or some clothes and stuff them behind him or something. Yeah, but that was my weekend. God bless him. He went to church. I'm afraid he gonna be a church baby. That's what he gonna be. He gonna be that baby that walk around singing gospel tunes and all of that and quoting scriptures and dressing them up like a little pastor. I know that's not what my child wants for her baby, but it's what Nana wants for her baby. So that was my weekend. That was my weekend. How about yours? How about yours? What you do?
Let's take the people back to Thursday, right before the weekend.
Okay.
A kickoff. So before we get into the Michelle A word of the day, we actually had an opportunity to go into a police simulator, and
yes,
it was pretty amazing.
That's what I forgot to mention.
What the heck I was doing? And I'm standing there and got me and my sugar killed because I wouldn't confront the suspect, right? And
Sugar was ready.
And
Sugar was ready.
Yes, yes.
She was ready.
Well, we know who wears the pants around here when it comes to acts of violence, right? She does not play. She's got that little bit of fire. So it was pretty cool to go in and watch and participate in scenarios and get to see things that officers go through on a regular basis, and then you put yourself into those scenarios and just kind of see how would you behave, what would you do in that situation. So before the Michelle A word of the day, we're gonna roll the clip.
You all are on patrol and you get called to a residence for a mentally disturbed person. Emotionally disturbed, emotionally disturbed person.
Can't let them go because it's left them in, so we have to make sure everything is shut. And I know they're in here. You let them in here. You let them in here. You did. You let them in.
Ma'am, put the crowbar down. Ma'am. Who are you talking about? Oh, there's no one here but us, ma'am. Ma'am, I need you to put the crowbar down.
You shouldn't have done it. I know they're.
What do you put it down? Ma'am, I need you to put the crowbar down. Please, thank you. Thank you. Sit down. Let's do that. Oh, okay. Do you want to talk about it? We just step outside, get a little fresh air. Out of the house.
Ma'am. Okay, ma'am. You want to put that crowbar down, ma'am?
What I said, I was like, yeah. That's probably why I was a comedian and not a cop, because that, how do you handle that? Because you don't know what a person is likely to do when they have a weapon. That might look just like it's a crowbar. I got a gun. But as we discovered with some of the other scenarios, the what he called it something, but that move to action gap or whatever, the time it take them to get from where they are to you, that can happen so rapidly. You can be bust upside your head in no time. And I don't know that my reflexes is quick enough.
So you want to have gun up and right. So it was pretty cool to see how those scenarios could play out, and how you have to be assertive, and the different protocols and the way that cops behave in the way that they do in some circumstances. And I think I took away from that whole weekend, Michelle, is the understanding that they are human, right? And we sometimes expect them to get it right 100% of the time. And if they do not, then we're going to throw the whole kitchen sink at them. But they're human just like us. So it was a fun experience for me. And
absolutely was.
Outside of that, I had an amazing workshop on Saturday where I was teaching what I teach, some digital marketing strategies, and I had some small businesses in the building, and we were really going through their businesses, giving them some tips, some strategies, some game plans to help them get to the next level. And outside of that, man, I vegged out really and watched a lot of TV. I've been watching this show called Succession, right, on HBO Max, and it's about a media mogul, right? This family owns the 5th largest media company in the world, and the dad is 80 years old, so he's thinking about creating a succession plan. Who's going to take over? Is it the son, one of the 2 sons, the daughter? They fighting. It's going down like like rich people problem stuff. Like
as I just said, rich people problems. Oh, okay.
Rich people problem because like it's crazy, but kind of edge out on that. But we're gonna get into the Michelle A. Word of the day, and then we're gonna have this conversation about comment in the chat. Is there such thing as going too far when defending your woman's honor or anybody's honor for that matter? And we're gonna get into this whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. But right now, it's time for the Michelle A. Word of the day. So let me find my Aussie friend to bring you in like we're supposed to. Let's do it.
And now the Michelle A. Word of the day.
All right, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. We've been talking about love, and we're going to move on to a different subject with next week's word of the day. But I'm going to be a little petty this morning, and I'm very sorry. I already told the Lord I was sorry. So I feel like it's okay for me to be a little petty. Today's Michelle A. Word of the day is for Chris Rock. And I'm going to go right to the word. The word said, the word says in Matthew chapter 5, verse number 38, you have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person, right? If anyone slaps you on the cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. So, Chris Rock, you owe Will Smith the other cheek, dog. He's coming back. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. And there it is, very pettily. That is your Michelle A. Word of the day.
Turn the other cheek, really, Michelle?
Oh, Daddy, that's what I'm looking for. I said, where's that scripture? Where is that scripture? You owe him one more slap. He got you covered with another one. Don't think this is over. Ooh. Please don't think it's over. Told you it was petty.
Talk about the consummate professional.
Always.
Right? Like, think about on national TV, somebody slapped fire from you, and you just keep the show going. Like,
face stinging because he hit him hard. You ain't got to clip it. You wouldn't have to have clip it.
Now, I don't want to further perpetuate.
You know what? That's
an act of violence, right?
That is a professional.
So I didn't bring in the clip.
I didn't watch that thing 92 times. I appreciate your professionalism, and I tried.
I didn't want to go there with the clip. Because y'all seen it, everybody.
We didn't see it.
But I think, there's a lot to unpack here. And we got some tips on, how to keep you cool in instances like that. But there's a lot going on, I'm sure, behind the scenes that a lot of people do not know. So what are your thoughts? Was Will Smith justified because the comedian made a wisecrack about his wife? What was that about? Now, Michelle, you are a comedian, and you sometimes will make funnies about people in the
Oh.
audience and things of that nature.
Oh.
What is your take? Do you think that was justified as we
No.
look at it on the surface? And we're going to dive a little bit
Mhm.
deeper here in a second.
I will say this. It's such a thin line, but I've seen it happen. We were talking a little bit before the show. I've seen it happen in real life. Now, praise God. Hallelujah. It ain't never been me, because I've always drawn a line with my comedy. If I poked fun at someone, it was never at, well, first of all, I poke fun at myself before I poke fun at somebody. And the things that I would poke fun at another person about, when I did do it, were very, 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 very lighthearted. I never went after physical attributes. You know what I'm saying? I never attacked anyone's physical. I might get your outfit or your shoes, but your physical attributes, I just stayed away from that, you know? So I've seen it happen. I remember I ran a show for a number of years, 6-7 years here in the St. Louis area. And one of the comedians was on stage and he said something about somebody in the audience, and he had the wrong one on the right day. And that guy walked up on stage and he didn't slap him, but he gut punched him. He he gut checked him, because he didn't punch him. He slapped him. Well, you slap another grown man in the belly with the back of your hand, that just do something to you. He slapped the man in the belly. He's like, "Hey, player, you need to hold that down." And he was like, "Man, hold up, it's just a joke." Then he popped him again, bow, with the back of the hand on his tummy. And it went from being a stomach to a tummy. It changed in that instance, because he got backhanded twice in the stomach by another grown man. And first thing it is, Shell, get your people. I don't even know this. He will be here. Man, all of a sudden, nobody in the room knew this dude. He had 42 people in silence. Everybody was like, "Hey, you can hear a pin drop." But it's shocking. And similar to Chris Rock, that comedian continued with this set. I think when you put yourself find yourself in situations like that, it shows the resilience of that comedian, right? Because I know a lot of comedians that probably would have been a situation where they both would have went to jail. I know a lot of comedians, professional, nationwide touring comedians, that would have been like, "Dude, it would have been me and you. You just can't get that off." So it's the whole stance, and I'm glad we're diving into it. And as like Cortez said, we're going to share some tips on maybe how to de-escalate, or things to consider when that happens, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a husband or wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. It could be with your kids. It could be, there are some core values that I think we can hold on to in those scenarios. But I do really want to undress this, just simply because, and let's get it out of our system, because it's just, 2 days prior, when it happened, and he said, just my personal opinion, the joke, "I have alopecia. Why you think I'm wearing a fade? I have alopecia. I had to come out of wigs. I wore wigs and weaves for so long." And you can either, alopecia, some people are born with it where it's more severe, or there are things that you can do to stunt your hair growth, and that hair just does not come back. Packs up and it's gone. And so I have alopecia on the sides. That's why I have no edges. But thank God for a good barber. And I can understand how she would be sensitive. I have to first say, Jada Pinkett looks amazing with her haircut. First of all, you wouldn't know she had alopecia unless she just told you. She looks amazing. And I think, and this is a comedian's opinion, this is me as a woman with alopecia, her opinion. What he said, he didn't say bald head. He didn't say, to me, he didn't say anything demeaning. If I remember, in the movie, G.I. Jane was about a woman that was in the service, and she was a Marine or something like that. And she shaved her head because she was in the military, which is what some of them do. I didn't find that comment to be smack worthy, Now, when the comment was made, Will laughed out loud. He laughed like he was at a comedy show. And then he looked at Jada and she rolled her eyes, and that's when, in which really the camera panned away. A word or two probably took place. And he reacted to her reaction. And I think at that point, it was really not a matter of you disrespecting my wife. It was a matter of she's pissed and I better do something. I laughed and she's pissed. I better do something. And at that point, I think it was because the way he walked on stage to give the smack, to serve up that palm sandwich, the way he walked up there was almost like entitlement. It was almost like, it is just my opinion. Send all your comments to that guy right there. This is just my opinion. It was such an entitlement that he walked up on Chris Rock like, you know, people play about the Church of Scientology and the whole Illuminati thing, but he walked up there and smacked crap out of Chris Rock like that was his, like he was supposed to. He walked up there and did it like, I'm above you, you're beneath me. And when he walked away, it was almost like a father walking away after he spanked a child. It was almost like, I hate to say it. Oh, you finna get some hate mail, dog. It was almost like a slave master walking away after he beat the slave. He walked away with justification, like, yeah. And he went and sat down. If you was that pissed off when he first said it, your ass would have flew up there on stage. Point blank. But you laughed. So it wasn't that you was upset. You did it because she was upset.
Now, the roll of the eyes was that her fighting back tears.
Could have been. Could have been.
I think that's one thing.
Okay.
And now let me hit you with this, because here's the, when we say we don't know all of the behind the scenes, here's the other thing. In 2016, Chris Rock was also hosting the Oscars. Okay. Chris Rock had another bit about who? Will and Jada.
Really? I'll see. They didn't tell you that.
Go look up the 2016.
Wow.
This was the whole boycott the Oscars. Will should have been nominated for his role as the doctor who did the concussion stuff, and Jada was a little pissed. She was asking everybody to boycott. Chris Rock got right on stage and went in about 3 or 4 minutes.
So they got some history there. They got some history.
Now there's a whole nother thing. Like, is it more to it than just that comment? And because he really went in on them in 2016.
So he literally scored his lick back. He literally.
So, it was one of those things where I kind of have gone back and forth, right? And y'all know me, I'm the most non-confrontational guy in the world. Even in the police simulator, I didn't want no smoke with the guy on the screen, and I got a fake gun in my hand, right? That's just not that's just not who I am. So I've gone back and forth with this whole thing. Like, did her choking back tears cause him to think back, like, Jigga, this, like in 2016, you went after my wife too. And is that the breaking point? But at the same time, there's a lot of things like, this is the night that you are being nominated for an amazing project and amazing work. My sugar said, that's the night that she'd have held my hand, like, no, it's good, we'll get him later, right?
Right,
because
seriously.
You don't want to, even if she is hurt deeply, and I'm telling you, if anybody's going to get cut and anybody's going to do the cutting, you getting cut, and my sugar's got a knife all the time. So that's kind of how she rolls. So, but even that, she was like, nah, I would have had to hold myself back, and I definitely would have held you back, because we just don't.
That ain't what we do.
For that night, because of the magnitude of the moment, based on the project and the reason that we are here.
Right.
But I think my sugar still would have,
she still would have. Oh, it would have been a parking lot of fur. It would have been that.
He was getting cut before.
Your sugar would have went to the trunk.
Before the clock struck 12, he was getting cut.
After party.
Not right there.
Yeah. Not on TV. Here's my thing, and here's a couple things that I've thought about, right? Just devil's advocate. Okay, let's say devil's advocate number one. If it wasn't Will Smith, right? Because everybody's the Black Mecca in Hollywood. If it wasn't Will Smith, let's say it was Idris Elba, or dare I say, give me a real hood Black actor that's been in the game for me, but a hood one. I'm trying to think. Oh, what if it was what's the dude that played all the 5 Heartbeats and Temptations? What if it was Leon that walked up there and smacked fire from Chris Rock?
Yeah.
Would America have the same, thing? Or a different scenario. What if it was a white actor that walked on stage and smacked fire from Chris Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Would it have been looked at the same way? Would we as black people, because black people say what we say, we rhyme with Will. I did it, he talked about my woman, you supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was a white comedian, a white actor that walked up there and smacked a black comedian, would we still have the same point of view? Regardless of what happened in the past. We'd be out picketing a ride in Hollywood, we'd be changing more stuff and doing all kinds. For me, I think the action is, and it's similar to what you and you should have said, that could have been a conversation in the green room. That could have been something, the man personally. And again, if Will Smith's initial response had matched Jada's, I might feel different. But that joker laughed out loud. Like he threw his head back and laughed.
Yeah, I think he was trying to laugh it off, and hopefully she would have laughed it off. But I think she was really hurt. The other thing so as I'm going back and forth, I was like, man, Chris, man, shouldn't have did that. But then I see Will walk up on Chris, and Chris put himself in a very vulnerable position. He was just like, and kind of stuck his face out like, dog, like we really finna do this? Like in a way that if you see animals in a wild, kind of the aggressor and the one who don't want to smoke kind of, puts himself in a submissive type position, like, come on, dog. And then to see the size difference, like Will 6'4", 230.
Yeah.
Like Chris is a little dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that is like, that then made me feel sorry for Chris. It's like, man, that was messed up.
Yeah.
And Chris, in his professionalism went on and did his thing. And then I see the 2016 bit. Now I'm back on Will's side, like, oh man.
He hit him because he could.
That whole thing. And to your point, to play devil's advocate and look at other scenarios, if that was a white comedian, if that wasn't Chris Rock, if that was one of the late night host show guys, right? Does Will still do the same thing? Like,
did he do it because it's Chris Rock?
There's a lot of things. And then when you consider the fact that Will Packard, produced the Oscars this time. So a black producer, one of the first times in history that we've ever, there's a lot of stuff around this entire situation, man, that makes you think. And now, let me throw this in there, because my guy Ash Cash from Ash Cash in the Vault, he put it in super, super slow-mo. And like, this whole thing is staged. Will slapped him on the shoulder. Right. So now you got conspiracy folks saying already the Oscars is a big night. And history shows that around the times of these big nights, Super Bowl, national attention getting deals, there's always something, right? Politicians and Washington has a way of slipping bills through passing, and when we're distracted. Is this a big distraction? And was it staged? Is there going to be a red table talk with Will and Chris in the near future? Right?
I did think about that angle. I thought the slap was real, but I said this at the barbershop, because I got a fresh cut. Okay. I did say this at the barbershop. I said, was it a publicity stunt from Will? You playing, your movie's out. Yeah, you getting an Oscar for it. Is it a publicity stunt for you and Jada? Right? Am I willing to walk up here and slap the taste out my friends' mouth because they supposed to be friends or they whatever? Am I willing to do this because that's going to keep me in the forefront? We got the movie, it's going to stir up controversy, because believe it or not, there are some people that see bad news or controversy is just as they see it as just as much as a positive as is positive news. Controversy keeps people talking about you. Yeah. I thought for a split second it could be a publicity stunt. You know, because why would you? That's so. Because really, for real, you just made Black people. You took us back. It took us back to about. You ain't take us back to the 80s, but you took us back to the 99. You know what I'm saying? It black on black crime, and black man slaps another black man. Look at who they being. And you just said that a black man is producing the. This is a first year that a black man produced the Oscars. So now it's like the year that a black man produces. That's when the niggas show out.
Right.
There's
a lot. There's a lot to kind of break down. Let me see if I could. And what made, because when I first saw it, I thought it was a joke, right?
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the actress Lupita sitting behind Will and Jada, and her jaw's on the floor. She's like, what the? I'm like, oh, this must be really serious. So I'm gonna grab the clip from the 2016 because a lot of people haven't seen this. So I'm not gonna play the smack. Y'all already know what the smack is. I'm gonna play the smack. But I'm gonna see if I can pull this clip in from the 2016 so we can put some context to perhaps this is a moment where it's like, nah, dog, you taking another shot at my wife, and could this been considered like basically a personal attack? Like what is the deal?
Before you pull up that clip, this is my last point to that. As many times as those comedians have stood up there on stage at the Oscars and made fat jokes, bald jokes about men, old jokes, all kinds of, I'm gonna go back to the fat joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my biggest thing is, was it justified? I don't care what you, it for what he said, and I'm hoping that this 2016, I'm hoping that he talked about, at some point he said something about her mama. Cause that's justification. But if you ain't said nothing about her mama and you ain't called her a greasy hoe, I don't see a reason from 2016 to 2022 that the smack should have happened and be justified. He smacked him because I think his show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he producing this show and he's like, man, he started feeling himself like, look at what I'm doing now. This ain't no goofy Will Smith. This the gangster Will Smith. I think it went to his head. He's like, I got to do something to help promote this Joker. And I think that fit in. So I think that's what I first was thinking when I was thinking publicity stunt. So, but go ahead, let's see the 2016.
Let's roll the clip. And I haven't pre-screened this clip, y'all. So I looked at the title and it's from 2016. It looked like it might be what I'm looking for. So hopefully it's what I'm looking for. Let me pull it in. Let's see.
Review time, hot. I saw the opening monologue. Didn't care to watch the rest of that crap, but I must say, the Joker made some sense. Talking about Chris Rock with his old sellout behind. But what he's...
All right, this is commentary by somebody else. Let me go.
Oh, okay, look, I done got into it. I'm like, I was ready.
Let me see. Yeah,
I was ready. Look, while you finding that, I'm just gonna give this quick tip. And Devin, I'm just gonna give the first one. The just introduction. A good boyfriend or husband should be prepared to defend his wife or girlfriend when her honor or safety is threatened, knowing when to step up or in and when to step back as a part of the process. When stepping in does become necessary, you'll need to know the safest and most effective strategies. First one on the list is stay calm. Before you do anything else, calm down. Your temper may flare up in the moment. Some will disrespect your wife or your girlfriend, but if you act purely on adrenaline and testosterone, there's a good chance that you'll only make the situation worse than it needs to be. Okay. Well, that's Will Smith. Look, that word, that's the other Michelle A word of the day for Will Smith. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So I could grab the clip. What I'm trying to do is grab a clip that is royalty free, right? Because I don't want
Gotcha.
them to shut us down on Facebook. But I'm going to go ahead and grab it. I think it's an important moment for us to actually see it. So I'm just going to grab it from the actual source, and we'll cut it out and delete it later. But it was like, it's one of those things. So let me download it real quick. So you guys, let me see. Go to the comments, Michelle. Let's see what we got in the comments.
Was that me go to the comments? I was like, oh, let me. I can work that out. Sure, let's go to the comments. Take it away in the studio, Stu. Okay, I could do that. I could go to the comments, or maybe I can't go to the comments. Who knows?
All right. So let me see. I'm gonna delete that one, and I'll pull in this one.
All right, here we go. Hang on. Oh, come on. We don't want that. Oh. Okay, I might need to go to the page with my outfit. Okay. All right.
Chris Rock calls out.
All right. Okay. Okay, so well, that's Yolanda sending Yolanda that did the simulator with us, sending us a shout out this morning. So good morning, Yolanda. Let me see. I can't, my chats never act right on here. I'm over here live, and I never could get it to act right. I never could get the comment stream unless it's just a couple comments out there. I never could get it to perform right for me. No, it looks like from the Hustle podcast page, it's just 2. Let me check mine. I'll see.
All right, let me see. Let me grab this joint, because I think this will add some context, and I wonder if they really are friends when you look at this, right? I'm like, yeah, I can't be friends, because a friend doesn't poke fun at your wife, and not without understanding that, okay, it's cool for me to go here and do this because we're cool. And
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. All right, there we go. All right.
Okay, so good. Okay, great. Because all I'm doing is looking at my haircut, which really does look good. Shout out to Dwight Foster. Shout out to Dwight Foster at the Grooming Lounge. Thanks, bro. My hair looks really good. That's all I got for you. This roll the clip.
All right, so this is from ET. So they are certainly going to say, hey, y'all use our content, we're going to ban y'all. But nevertheless, I think this is important. And they have their commentary added to this. And then there's even a Jada response. But I always thought that Jada shaving her head was more about supporting Willow and shaving her head. I didn't know that she had alopecia, right? Because Willow shaved her head after I with my hair back and forth. She got out of that contract with Jay-Z and all of that kind of stuff. She's like, hey, I don't want to do this no more, right? So I thought that was why I didn't know the alopecia angle. And I wonder if Chris Rock knew the alopecia angle, right? Do you think he makes that comment if he knows that it's alopecia and not her just shaving her head for a fashion statement? But still, that does not negate the previous beatdown that he gave to her on the same Oscar stage just 7 years prior. So check this out.
I need to.
I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards.
Chris Rock tackled diversity head-on during his opening monologue at the Oscars, delivering jokes that were both hilarious and poignant, like this one, where he called out Jada Pinkett Smith for boycotting the show.
Is she on a TV show? Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. Jada's mad her man, Will, was not nominated for concussion. I get it. Tell the truth. I get it. You get mad. She said it's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. Yeah, you're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay?
The comedian kept things mostly like...
Wait a minute. That's good old fashioned. Well, first of all, the Rihanna joke, I was like, whoa. It was just the fact that it's like him boycotting Rihanna's underwear. He wasn't invited. That was just good old fashioned Jonah.
Yeah.
It wasn't fair. Well, he didn't get 20 million for Wild Wild West, and we could all agree that movie was some bull.
Mm-hmm.
That was Jonah. Like that was, if they was in the hood, that would have been all good. He ain't talk about nobody mama. He didn't talk about well, he kind of, if anything, Will should have been more mad. You basically just said your movie was trash and you got paid $20 million for. Will should have been the one upset.
Right.
I don't see a personal attack on Jada. I see a comedian Jonah on someone else in Hollywood that makes a whole lot of money. It looked like the money should have been the buffer, but I digress. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then in Will's acceptance speech for the Oscar, he said, in our line of work, you know, people talk about us, and that's just part of the job. Like that's like
yeah. But I did hear a pastor one time say that we will, and this I think it was Stephen Furtick, which I totally love this pastor, and he's a pastor to a lot of people in Hollywood and a lot of musical artists, and he says, you know, it's easy for us, and this is true. Oh, sorry, Lord. It's true. I had to say sorry because here's where I turn around my whole stance. His point was, it's easy for us to sit back behind on the other side of our television and laugh and point at the people on TV and say, can you believe what they said? Can you believe what they did? Look at them. But in reality, they're people too. And they hurt too. And they make mistakes too. And they need a savior and they need a pastor just like we do. They need grace and forgiveness just like we do. Pettiness over.
So Ronald said, doesn't matter what her hair issue is, not cool. Take a seat, Will Smith. Yeah, I don't agree with the act. But do you understand how a person could have been emotionally triggered? Yeah, but for me personally, that's just not how I would behave, especially at a moment like that. And where we're just in a, like, that's literally, you went on that man's job and smacked him in the face. Like,
man,
like that's that. So to me, no, that ain't something that I support. I don't support violence. In 98.999% of the cases, I'm against all forms of violence, unless you're literally defending yourself against a physical attack. But we still have to remember that there could be violent acts of violence without physically touching someone and emotionally beating someone up, verbally abusing people. Does it happen all the time? All the time, yes. Would that same response happen if it was Jimmy Kimmel making the similar type of joke?
I don't think so.
You just don't.
Him and Jimmy Kimmel was like that. Not Jimmy Kimmel. What's the other little boy? Jimmy Fallon. Him and Jimmy Fallon is like this.
So,
and that like, would have been some mess he said.
Do you do that? I think you compose yourself a little bit better. But again, that's me armchair quarterbacking. Like, we don't know the full history behind him and Will, because here's the other thing that, so like, he made those comments in 2016, right, on stage. And of course, he's been interviewed several times after those comments. And what was his response in those interviews? Was it an apologetic stance? Or was it, I said what I said, man, F Will and Jada too, right? We don't know all of the history that, but at the same time, that's not how I would have responded in that particular setting at that particular venue. You know, like I said, my wife is the one who brings a knife to every fight.
Every fight.
That ain't me. So I'm on the other side. I had to fight every night to prove my love to my wife.
Right.
Not to prove my love. I had to fight every night because my wife can cut some damn body.
Right. All my life I had. All your life you had to fight.
Yeah. So,
Oh my goodness.
like Cassie said, since 2005, he has been, yeah. So since 2005, he has been disparaging Jada, is what Classy said. So it could have been a fed up to the point where that look of rolling her eyes, Jada could have been on some, not again. Like, come
Yeah.
on, for
Now I
real.
see that.
Again, you, like,
Here
out
we
of
go.
all of these people, I'm just your target everywhere you go and speak
Yeah.
publicly. And that
Yeah.
could have been what set Will off when he looked to see, oh, she's not laughing this one off.
Yeah.
This one really hurts. So, so we got a couple of tips that we put together. Shout out to Shelly. She's always pulling the stuff together for the show. Keep us on track. So we're talking about 7 tips that you could leverage when you are defending someone's honor, right? And it doesn't have to be a mate. We said at the beginning of the show, we know as brothers, I got 3 sisters, right? Do you come to your sister's defense and defend her honor? Defend your mom's honor, right? It's not just about your mate. So number 1, we got stay calm. Before you do anything else, calm down. Your temper may flare up the moment someone disrespects your girlfriend, wife, sister, cousin, whoever. But if you act purely on adrenaline and testosterone, there's a good chance you'll only make the situation worse than it needs to be, right?
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
All right, number 2, get the details. Make sure that you're actually witnessing what you believe you're witnessing. Oftentimes, the truth of a situation will immediately be obvious. In some cases, however, you might be mistaken and there might not be an actual disrespect going on. So make sure you are seeing what you think you see. Did I really see? Did we really see a smackdown? Was it his shoulder? Was it his chin, his face? Was that a Hollywood punch? Be sure you're seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah, did we really see a disrespectful act? Did we really see something worthy of a smack, right? Angela Alexander says, hey, I disapprove of the violence, especially on television, but the hurt in his wife's face is what triggered Will. And again, Will is a human being. We've all been to the point where we are pissed off to the highest level of pistivity, and it has caused us to take actions that we later regret, actions that we are not proud of, even though Will had that look on his face as he walked away, like he had no regret and that he was extremely proud. So that's, I mean, he's human, right? I think we place people above
pedestals
of human acts. And am I condoning that he should have gone up there and smacked that man in the face? Hell no. That ain't just, that's just not how we get down and should behave in public or in private, right? That could have been hey bro, chill. Like, bro, really, you got us last time, get somebody else this time. Right. There's a lot of ways that you can handle it. Number 3, trust your girlfriend or your wife. You need to trust your girlfriend or wife in 2 separate but related matters. Trust her to remain loyal to you and trust her to take care of the minor incidents herself, right? Sometimes you don't always have to come to the defense, but other times you do, and it's how you come to that defense. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story. Always, right? There's her side, your side, and the truth. Right.
It is.
You gotta really, because we know historically there's always been a little white lie at the foundation of many riots in this country, right? If you look and study our history in terms of race riots, right? Most race riots in this country started based on a lie. Hey, a black man did something to a white woman, and as a result, we're gonna burn this mother down, right? It's crazy how that has happened, and I know firsthand, growing up in Wellston, and crime-ridden, poverty testosterone guys trying to prove themselves, and all it takes is for a female to say, he did this, and what you gonna do about it?
Yep.
And if I'm not there to witness the doing of this, sometimes we just run in guns a-blazing, and then when the dust settles, it's like, no, your girl was wrong. It's two left shoes. She went and smacked that man in the face, and then dared him to do something. And now all of a sudden, there's a whole family feud going on because of some foolishness. So, but to Rod's point, man, that there's Ramos' point, violence is not the way, especially in a setting like that. Number 4, check your own motives. Ask yourself why you feel the desire to step in. You honestly want to defend your girlfriend, your wife, your sisters, your moms, your aunt's honor, or you're off to if you honestly want to defend their honor, you're off to a good start. On the other hand, if you feel the need to defend or claim your territory, you might be acting out of jealousy rather than chivalry. So that's another reason that you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself or wreck someone else. And these things don't always, like in our communities, we know we've been trained and the way we've come up and with a false sense of masculinity and tit for tat. So that if that happens locally, there's a whole feud that could last for decades with dead bodies on each side. Right? Oh,
absolutely.
You jumped on me, then we're gonna jump on you. Or you shot me, then we're gonna shoot you. Or you killed my homeboy, we're gonna kill one of your homeboys. You killed 2 of our homeboys, we're gonna come back and kill 4 of your homeboys. And there's people dying who don't even know the origin of the beef.
Nope, not at all.
It's not crazy, right? So.
Absolutely crazy. Number 5, ignore the first incident. They tried. I give them credit. They tried. Unless the first offense is unforgivable territory, it's usually best to just let it go. You might need to offer your wife, girlfriend, sister, mother, whoever, daughter, some reassurance, but don't confront the perpetrator just yet. Fools rush in. You sometimes you gotta really, jokingly, I said it in the A word of the day, but sometimes you do have to turn the other cheek. And just from looking at the first set of jokes, which again, me as a comedian, I always had a precedence on any show I produced, and I've produced a lot of shows over the last 17 years. Any show I produced, the number 1 rule for a comedian is you cannot joan on people in the audience. Because I always felt like a real comedian, you have material. The audience doesn't need to be your material. They pay money to get in. They support whatever it is that you're doing. They didn't come to be the joke. So that was a precedence I would always set. But apparently Chris Rock didn't. So, and a lot of Black comedians don't. They will do, I've been to some shows and the comedian they'll spend the whole time, their whole set, just picking people out of the audience. And that became popular in Black culture. But to me, it's not comedy. It's never been comedy. It's not comedy to put somebody else down at the expense of getting a laugh. A comedian is a storyteller. Tell stories. Now, if you interfere with my story, you will become part of the act. But tell the story to make people laugh. So they look like they tried to ignore the first instance back in what you said, 2016. And the second one, not so much.
Yeah, that makes me think of a comedian like a Joe Torre, right? His whole deal is he gonna walk on stage and flame everybody for 45 minutes.
Everybody.
And makes you not so proud that you were balling enough to buy tickets to be in the front row.
Right? In the front row. And it's at every show I do, no one sits up front. I have to even at Christian shows, they'd be like, I don't trust it. Nope.
Yeah. Got you. Number 6, step in when things escalate. Stand up for your girlfriend, wife, or whoever's honor you're defending. Once a single incident evolves into actual harassment, at that point, the predator has already demonstrated that the abuse won't end until someone else forces it to end. And maybe that's what Will was feeling. It's like, until I go and smack this guy, he ain't gonna stop calling us out anytime that he gets an opportunity to. So But again, that's not something that I condone. That's not something that's not a way that I would have behaved. But at the same time, I'm not Will Smith. I don't know the whole story, and I don't profess to. And you know, this is a non-judgment zone. You know, he did what he did, and you have your way to feel the way that you feel about it. Some people feel he's justified. Some people don't. I don't agree with the act itself, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Hit the last one before we get out of here.
Yeah, talk to your person, significant other, wife, girlfriend, sister, brother, mother, whoever, about the level of discomfort. When possible, it's also a good idea to get that person's take on the current situation as well. You may not need to act if she doesn't feel alarmed or bothered by the disrespect. So that's why I said he laughed at first, but I think once he saw her face and her reaction, it changed it. He felt like he had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he laughed. Because if he was offended that bad, he'd have been offended from the jump like her. But yeah, he did what he had to do in the situation as a man, as a husband. Ultimately, you know, I always tell my kids this: whatever you do, think about what's on the other side of the action. Because you can do the action, but there's always things that will follow. If you're ready to handle what come on the other side of that, then go on, do what you're gonna do. Right. But you got to give some thought to that. So.
Yeah. And like you said, him being Will Smith, like him being it, like I don't think anybody else feels like they could have pulled that off. Like I'm gonna literally interrupt this show and go do something like that, right? So
one for the books,
and we have to look at and watch how it plays out. What are the repercussions, right?
They were talking about taking his award, yeah.
What will the repercussions be? Will they, you know, whether Chris Rock presses charges or not? Is he hit with an assault charge? Like those are all things that you have to consider and see what happens. Is there an entitlement situation that's going to allow him to get away with a slap of the wrist? Will he ever be invited back to the Oscars again? Like, right? He turned his battery pack on and went on the attack. Yeah, there was like you said, when you first look at the clip, you see him just laugh it off, and then something happens where it just goes right. He said that he wouldn't press charges. But sometimes even when the individual doesn't press charges, you know, the state or local authorities could still step in because it was witnessed, it was recorded. It's like we saw you assault someone. But that's, you know, I'm glad you guys weighed in. There's a lot of different opinions. A lot of people think he's justified. A lot of people think he's not justified. I'm with the not justified side in that setting. I don't think, like, if you felt the way, I think you should have addressed Chris if you felt the way in another way. If you felt disrespected, then I'm not for anybody laying down taking a bunch of disrespect. So if you felt the way, it should have been addressed, just not that way in that night, right? We know Chris Rock might sue him, right? Ronald said Chris should sue the simp out of Will Smith. So that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys indulging us in this conversation. Until we talk to you next time, get your money up because you absolutely can do it. More importantly, you deserve to do it each and every single one.